Good evening.
Hello.
Welcome to Dark Ozarks.
Hello, Lisa. Hello, everyone.
Hey, Josh.
Wednesday night.
We're having a night, aren't we? Our timing's off tonight.
Oh, I know. We may find our timing by the end of the evening. But of course, welcome everybody to our YouTube stream and here on Dark Ozarks. We've got some fun stuff. Shootings and hangings, is always juicy.
Yes.
And, we of course do a shorter format for our live streams here on YouTube, more of an introduction to sort of everything going on. We will do a longer format live stream on Facebook this evening, but all the videos get archived here on YouTube. So we do encourage you to like, subscribe, click the notification bell to stay up to date with all things on social media. And check out the other areas of platform. We're on the Branson Podcast Network. We are on Instagram. We're on Facebook. And you can find sort of a clearinghouse of all of this on stateoftheozarks.net, which is the magazine website that I curate here in the Ozarks, as well as checking out paranormalsciencelab.com, which is Lisa's forte.
Yes, we appreciate everyone's support.
Yes, we do. And growing. I'm very excited about that. And over on Facebook, we do have a paid subscriber option that functions much like Patreon. We do encourage you to check that out, and especially because that particular platform allows us to go very short, in-depth pieces on things like paranormal investigation, tips and ideas, as well as digging very deeply into the lore. So this has been a wild ride for over 2 years. We've got a great sponsor, Always Buying Books in Joplin, Missouri.
Yes, we do. Always Buying Books is really your, I'd say, cliche one-stop shopping experience for books. Everything from general reading genre material to high-end collectibles, hard to find nonfiction, and everything in between. And Bob and Elaine do a great job.
and very interesting to find titles like Honor and Violence in the Old South by Bertram Wyatt Brown.
Not something you find everywhere. So
no, not sure everyday big box bookstore option right there. Although
and if you're not in the Joplin area, find them online at their website, alwaysbuyingbooks.com. Find them on Facebook, where they have a lot of inventory up on their page for sale. Call them up and you can get things mailed to you. So you have no excuse. So
not a one. And I mean, with titles like Honor and Violence in the Old South, this is edifying reading right here.
Yes. And we do have an announcement tonight. We have a new sponsor.
Fantastic.
Beard Engine Brewery.
That is very, very exciting. Beard Engine Brewery, a brewing company in Alba, Missouri.
Yes, the only English style brewery in Missouri.
It is a fantastic place. Haunted also, which is a great addition. And you and I were there conducting an initial survey investigation just on the Friday night.
We were, and had some good activity. But check them out online, Beard Engine Brewing Company.com. They're on Facebook, Instagram, etc. Go by, and they have good food too. So
yes, they do. I honestly, they have a lot of great things on the menu. But the thing that I'm most wanting to try, along with another beer, which the beer that I had was fantastic, but I want to try a different beer and pair it with their grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Yeah, it does sound good, doesn't it?
It really does. I think that's just an awesome combination. Can't wait. And a lot of other great things on the menu as well. And it's a neat location.
It really is. And, with, they were the site, their building was the site of shootouts in the Great Depression, which kind of leads into our topic.
Yes, it does. Also, while you're there, be sure to say hi to the steampunk octopus in the bathroom.
Yes.
I know you lined up for an awesome segue there, but I had to talk about the octopus.
We'll try next time. We'll try and get the octopus as the segue next time.
Cryptozoological sea creatures of the Ozarks.
There you go.
Freshwater octopi in the Oklahoma rivers.
Yes.
So none of that made any sense to me, but I like it. It's a vortex. Also, real quick, upcoming 2022 autumn schedule of events for Dark Ozarks.
Yes. First up is Soda Fest. So those are
State of the Ozarks Fest, Saturday, September 17th, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. in historic Downing Street in Hollister, Missouri. Great street festival. Dark Ozarks will be there along with lots and lots of other vendors, as well as some really interesting historic and contemporary art and Ozarks craftspeople.
Yes, it's always fun, and when you can have live music, dancing, and medieval combat, you can't lose. So
yes, the Order of the Red Boar will fight. Mm-hmm. Or if you prefer the more appropriate term, spar, violently spar on the main square in front of the Old English Inn. Very appropriate in that regard. Yes. And they will do so. Currently are scheduled to fight between at noon and at 5 p.m.
Sounds like a plan. I know I'll be there.
I will too. And we will have books, and you can stop by, shake and howdy. Dark Ozarks will be at the State of the Ozarks headquarters tent right at the main square in front of the Old English Inn and the historic depot.
Yes, it's going to be a great time. It always is.
It's a lot of fun.
And then this week we will be in Caney, Kansas.
Yes, we will. Excited about it.
Town Paracon.
Yes, lots of great speakers lined up. Of course, we're very honored to be included among the list. And that Saturday, September 24th in Caney, Kansas, also known as the Little Ozarks. I'm excited to actually be there. I've never been in that part of Kansas. And lots of panels throughout the day, and looking forward to that.
It's a free event for the public too, so come on out.
Awesome.
And I think there's food. Etc. So good time for all. And then October 7th, we will be back in Hollister.
Yes, in conjunction with State of the Ozarks hosted First Friday Art Walk of Hollister, pretty much the kickoff to the Halloween season for Hollister. Uh-huh. And we will be having our haunted Hollister walking tour that will meet and include a tour of the Old English Inn.
It's going to be fun, and we're going to be in period clothing.
Yes, we are. So, we invite you to do that as well.
Yeah. Everyone come out and dress up and have a good time.
And it doesn't have to be period clothing. You can come out in your Halloween costume just early.
Halloween costume, cosplay, whatever you want. Just let's make it interesting.
Make it interesting. Make it fun. Tickets are available. This is a 2-hour walking tour. Wear comfortable shoes. There will be stairs involved. We're going to dig deep into the history and some of the dark history of Taney County. And as well as getting to tour the Old English Inn, and there's even going to be some Ozark storytelling.
Exactly. I'm excited to do this again. It's been a while since we've been able to do this. So
I am too. City of Hollister is quite excited as well. Folks on Downing Street are excited. It is a neat community event, and tickets are not only on sale, but they're also selling pretty quickly.
Yeah, they're selling very well. You can go to paranormalsciencelab.com for tickets and get yours, because they they are selling steadily. So
Yeah, we will, and we will see you there. Then October 15th, back in Joplin at the VFW Hall.
yes, for Dark Ozarks, October Country. It's going to be fun.
It is.
All-day event. We'll cover all kinds of topics that come under our roof of topics, from the paranormal to dark history to everything in between. And it's a great location too.
It is. I'm really. We got to go to the VFW Hall in Joplin. There's layers and layers of history there. The location does see a lot of activity, so you may have something happen while you're attending October Country. And this is an event that is co-sponsored by Always Buying Books. So we thank Bob and Elise for that. And I, for one, am excited. I saw some of the food that was coming out of the kitchen while we were there. And I'm just excited to go for the food. I will be, attending and speaking as the Ozark Howler, in case anybody wonders. And, I'm sure to irritate a number of the ghosts who are there. So heads up.
There you go. I'm glad you warned me.
I'm prepared. I'm hand stitching my Howler costume as we speak.
Oh my. I'm almost afraid.
It's a ghillie cut. It's a ghillie suit, but with a turtleneck.
Okay. On
and then,
that note, we will then on October 20th be in Joplin again for the old downtown walking tour in conjunction with Third Thursday Art Walk in Joplin, co-sponsored by the Joplin Downtown Alliance, which we're always glad to work with because they do a lot of worthwhile projects supporting the artisan community as well as historic restorations. So they do a lot of good work. Plus, you get to hear all of the wild history and ghost stories from early Joplin. So
it's going to be a great night. And then almost immediately following, let's see, Newtonia, October 28th. 29th. 29th.
Mm-hmm.
The second Battle of Newtonia was October 28th. That was what's throwing me off.
That's right. So it's going to be the day after the anniversary of the battle, which might make it more interesting. But we get to tour and have an investigation at the Ritchie Mansion, beautiful antebellum home, as well as the Civil War Cemetery. And there's going to be food.
Yes, there is. I'm excited about all of that. I get excited whenever there's food. Let's just be very honest about that. And then November 19th at the Webb City Library. Yes.
Well, earlier in the day, we will be at Always Buying Books for a book signing as well.
Yes, we will. And I think, at some point we'll do a video podcast just on our books. And so people can have an idea in that regard. And so great opportunity to come out to our sponsor, Always Buying Books, and then head over to the Webb City Library, which is very haunted as well.
It is. Lots of poltergeist activity that goes back decades. So plus full body apparition has been seen again for decades. So
not too shabby. All right. And that may or may not conclude the autumnal season for Dark Ozarks, but that's what we've got at the moment. We hope to see you there. And tickets and more information is available at paranormalsciencelab.com.
Yes. So, Gunpowder and Nooses.
Yes. We've got some really interesting hangings and essentially fugitives at large in the Ozark, fugitives at large cases in the Ozarks. And of course, as one would expect with situations like this, it involves a considerable amount of transit, folks fleeing from or fleeing to locations. So Ozarks, borderlands of the Ozarks, and sometimes the suggestion or the alleged flight to places far beyond the Ozarks.
Yes. But certainly Ozarks stories, including murder ballads sung by a victim. How often does that happen?
Not very often. How do you feel? I mean, something that certainly has developed within the popular psyche is, since Jerry Springer, is this idea of unseemly exploitation of life events, but obviously this predates.
No, it's not necessarily new. Perhaps today it's more by choice. In some instances in the past it was done out of necessity for getting on with life and supporting yourself. But and today I think it's more for attention and fame a lot of times. But still, it's nothing new.
It's nothing new. Something that is consistent with all of this is a sensational Roman carnival type atmosphere that tends to accompany, for example, the trials, the hangings, so on and so forth.
The attempted reanimation of the corpse.
That too. So, and we'll be due to switch over to long format here in a moment. We'll go deep into several of these cases, but just as a little bit of an overview, we have the Parsons family murders in 1906. We have the Meeks murders in 1894. We have the last public hanging. Was that correct? In Galena.
In the early
and that
30s.
was 1937, May 21st, 1937. Oh.
And then we have the murder of a former Civil War general, and the unfortunate end of the murder suspect, which things did not go quite as planned.
Yes. So there's obviously, and if we have time, we have the botched hangings of the Christian County Baldknobbers.
Yes.
Dave and Billy Walker and James Matthews, I believe, Mr. Matthews. I should remember his first name more vividly as I've been to his grave, but I just remember, I always come back to his last name. And in May of 1889, for clarification, that, really many, and something else that I think is important to take into consideration. Obviously, we have the Roman carnivalesque atmosphere in this, but also there was in many cases, a media firestorm around these cases. These made national headlines, in some cases international headlines, brought some rather sordid attention to Missouri and sometimes Arkansas in the process. And really, to me, speaks heavily of the reality that the good old days weren't necessarily as good as we might have remembered them.
That's true. And not everybody was as stalwarts of virtue as we tend to portray them in reflection.
It's very easy to become jaded in reverse, so to speak. The sense that for example, if you're out and about in large crowds or at the store or in the parking lot trying to navigate to and from the store, or these types of things, and become very impatient with people and see it as very, these are mundane and unpleasant people that you don't want to be around, even as you yourself are probably becoming mundane and unpleasant in the process. The weird self-awareness thing and cycle that I go through, I don't like it anyway. But then it's also very easy to imagine turning the clock back and somehow things are nicer, people are more polite, there's a more virtuous, as you noted, a better society in some senses. And it's difficult to wrap one's head around the fact that as sometimes deeply irritating and challenging, and in some cases, dark. There's plenty of sit in. You have a front row seat to some of the worst of humanity in your day job.
Yeah,
and it's easy to overlook the fact that in many cases, in many ways, are please place asterisk here, see footnote citations of the exceptions to this, but in so many ways, per capita in the United States, life is safer. It is much more pleasant. It is much more comfortable. It's much easier, and likelihood of incurring severe death and unpleasant means is, generally speaking, a lot lower than it was, say, in the halcyon and romantic days of the 1880s and 90s.
That's a pretty safe bet. Yes.
and I'm I am absolutely one of the first to feel very nostalgic and romantically inclined about the past, and one of the reasons I love history, and even the fact that notwithstanding the reality that even the generation of my grandparents dealt with the potential of things like dysentery and cholera and tuberculosis that we basically don't even think about.
Yeah. We complain about the Wi-Fi not working,
Right.
not dysentery.
Yes. It's something that I this is a bit of a off on a tangent, but fortunately my family typically had clean water, but it was local well water. I grew up with well water. I'm a big fan of that, but the simple reality of being able to walk into the kitchen, turn on the faucet, and have clean water that's safe.
Yeah, it's something that is still unheard of in many parts of the world.
Mm-hmm. And it's something that honestly, contributed heavily to infant mortality here in the Ozarks for many generations, much of the 19th century. Something that we talked about last week in regards to vampires, the Jordan Valley Creek, Springfield, the beautiful Springfield Plain, the spring associated with the spring in the field to create Springfield, Missouri. Was associated with Jordan Valley Creek, and over the course of a couple of generations of building up the city of Springfield, it became so contaminated and so full of refuse that it was covered over and turned into essentially a storm drain network that now is alleged to be inhabited by vampires. So that's that's an interesting process. Here in Hollister, one of the city fathers, quote unquote, William Johnson, actually forced the town to face the railroad track, because something that he hated about small American railroad towns was that the railroad depot was basically at ugly back end of the town.
Mhm.
And there wasn't typically any real plan to deal with trash. And you walk off the train out of out of the train depot, and are faced with unsightly litter and food waste and animal waste, and it smells bad and there's flies everywhere, and it's very unsightly and unsanitary. And he didn't want that in Hollister. So I still swear he had to have, ticked off a number of business owners who had to invest in basically making all of their businesses face the other direction, and then clean everything up.
Change the back door to the front door.
Yes, build new facades and make those new facades look like Tudor English village buildings in about 1920, when the rest of the town looked like your standard, really American Old West town.
Yes, but he did have a vision and it worked.
Yes,
and
he did.
That might be a good spot for us to go to end here. The long format will be uploaded tomorrow. And so come listen in detail to some very unusual tales involving Gunpowder and Nooses.
Absolutely. And possibly a reanimated corpse.
Possibly. Thank you, everyone.
Nice.